Apple is a multinational technology organization established on April 1st, 1976 in California. Apple represents innovative, high-quality, and easy-to-use technology products, which has allowed them to establish a strong brand image and adopt loyal customers. Therefore, our group analyzed Apple and its relation to Lafley and Martin's strategy model, which is designed with five-step questions, which are: what is our winning aspiration? Where will we play? How will we win within our chosen markets? What capabilities must be in place to win? And what management systems are required? This cascades of strategic choices will be discussed in this presentation along with academic sources including Porter's Five Forces, VRIM model, and Christensen's model.
The first question we refer to when looking at Apple's strategy is to consider what the company's winning aspiration is. As defined by Lafley and Martin, a winning aspiration is the purpose of your enterprise, the motivating aspiration. An enterprise's winning aspiration sets the context for the strategic decisions within the cascade of choices that follow. In order to identify Apple's purpose and what motivates their strategies and innovations, it may be best to identify their mission statement. Apple is successful in establishing and implementing strategic decisions, evidently becoming the leading global tech company in 2019 as they were listed first place on Forbes' top 100 digital companies. Considering their strategic initiatives to succeed, one can assume the firm aims to achieve market leadership in the technology industry. Apple's mission statement states that they aim to bring the best user experience to customers through their innovative hardware, software, and services. Apple follows through with this by creating quality products for their users. In the third quarter of June 2019, Apple reportedly generated $53.8 billion in revenue, despite the 1.7% decline in smartphone sales during this period. Apple achieved their greatest June quarter ever, which was driven by their record revenues from their cloud services and the accelerating growth from their wearable devices. This identifies that their ambitions are purposely framed around their customers in order to generate and retain customers with the highest customer lifetime value. In terms of whether Apple can sustain its growth and defend against competitive threats, strong performances from PCs, iPhones, iPads, as well as shifts in consumer demand for handset and emerging technologies, their progress suggests that they can continue to win in the market so long as business strategies are executed effectively.
The next question is where will we play? This is relating to where Apple will compete, including the geographical locations, products, customer segments, and channels. In the previous paper, the Blue Ocean strategy and Porter's Five Forces were discussed. Just to recap, Apple gained success using the Blue Ocean strategy by being the first to tap into the digital music space with iTunes, and also created demand for tablets with the advent of the iPad. Porter's Five Forces were used to highlight that for Apple, bargaining power of buyers is high, primarily due to low switching costs. The threat of substitute products is low, as there are limited substitute products available and low performance of alternative products. And the threat of new entrants is low due to the high cost of entering the electronic market as well as high cost of promotion. Now, when answering this question for the third iteration, I will discuss how Apple can be sustainable in its where-to-play choices in order to ensure their continued future success and longevity. When looking at the Blue Ocean strategy, while Apple initially had a first-mover advantage with iPad and iTunes, over the years competitors have been able to enter this market and become competitive. For example, the iPad was highly successful and remains the best-selling tablet in the US. With that being said, other tablets such as Microsoft Surface 2 and Android tablets have finally become genuinely competitive, and in 2019, Apple accounted for only 29.6% of the worldwide tablet market share, and the worldwide market shipment of tablets is expected to significantly decrease in 2023. Clearly for Apple, they can't rely on their previous blue ocean markets because eventually competitors will turn it into a red ocean once again. For Apple's where-to-play strategy to be sustainable, they have to make sure that they are continuously looking for new blue ocean opportunities. For example, in 2015, Apple released the Apple Watch during a time when wearable technology had very few competitive products and little development. Even though they were skeptics, the Apple Watch proved to be successful and is a leading smartwatch on the market. This example demonstrates how they yet again successfully entered a blue ocean market by offering a product that consumers didn't know that they needed at the time. To continue their success, Apple should continue to develop their presence in the wearable technology market and should develop new wearable technologies. Another way Apple can be sustainable is to apply red ocean strategies when the blue ocean eventually turns red. For example, when the iPod gained steep competition, they diversified their range to include the iPod Shuffle, Nano, and other music devices. This allowed them to grow and keep the majority of the market share in the digital music industry that they created.
Apple elects to use the unique tactic of going against the norms of the current marketplace. This is an example of a hardball strategy, as they observe current market trends in innovation and technology. Apple likes to throw a so-called curveball in order to attract customers, both returning customers as well as new customers to their products. Additionally, Apple likes to take on the role of becoming the first mover. A first mover is the company or business that is trying to gain a competitive advantage by entering the market first. For instance, in 1987, Apple released a revamped Macintosh computer, which was extremely popular in elementary schools. Here we see Apple being extremely innovative and attacking a market that has yet to be conquered. Moreover, Apple will win for years in the chosen market as its value proposition is set up for them to succeed. Apple created a phone that is more than a phone, the smartphone. Suddenly, something that was just used to make phone calls is now a tool for work, social, and private life. Apple wins the market as they redefine the entire market themselves through their disruptive innovations. Apple will win in the chosen marketplace as they also use a blue ocean strategy. The blue ocean strategy is the establishment and capturing of uncontested market space. This leads to Apple being up on a pedestal, eliminating most competition other than fierce competitors. As previously mentioned, Apple can be identified as the first mover in a given market, so therefore they are able to set premium prices that they do, and customers will pay. And they most definitely are such prices because the quality of the product generally reflects the price. So why does Apple charge such a large amount for their products? Because they can. Lastly, it is important to highlight Clayton Christensen's theory of the innovator's dilemma, where players in similar markets will use the same tools to go after competitors in that same market. Apple continued to bring innovative products into the market while guarding the secrets behind its technology. This made it tough for Apple in the beginning, as customers are more attracted to what they know rather than the new innovation. But with this said, Apple stuck to their plan and continued to see the market standards through their innovations.
The fourth question asks, what capabilities must be in place to win? Lafley and Martin define capabilities as the reinforcing activities, skills, resources, and configurations a company utilizes to gain competitive advantage and achieve their winning aspiration. From a resource-based view, Apple's resources include large amounts of capital for research and development, advanced hardware and software, expert programmers, as well as retail stores that are designed to be pristine and display their product offerings. Intangible resources include their valuable intellectual property that is kept hidden from the public. However, these are considered threshold capabilities, meaning they're easily imitated and differ from their core capabilities. Apple gains sustained competitive advantage through their core capabilities, which are unique processes required to execute strategy. Apple's core capabilities include disruptive innovation, product mix diversity, unique design capabilities that create an ecosystem of complementary products, like cross-device compatibility, for example, global brand building, and deep consumer understanding. As discussed in Lecture 8, one can use the VRIO model to evaluate the degree of value, rarity, imitability, and organization of Apple's tangible and intangible capabilities. Apple maintains long-term competitive advantage through disruptive innovation, brand building, and unique design capabilities, as they all pass the 4 questions of the VRIO framework. One may argue product mix diversity and knowledge of consumer behavior are temporary competitive advantages because many other firms utilize these capabilities as well, like Google, for example, which is one of Apple's main competitors. Cross-device compatibility makes it more likely that customers will purchase products that promote each other. For example, as Gamble and Marino mentioned, a user with an Apple TV can play content from their iPod by connecting the devices wirelessly. Apple is known for the sleek design of their products and smooth aesthetic of their devices that promotes ease of use, as well as their ambition to push boundaries because the iPod was the first mobile device with no physical keyboard, and sales reflected this. From this assessment, we can identify the importance of enhancements in Apple's design capabilities over the years, to the point that now in 2020, the iPod has almost been entirely replaced by new innovations, such as the iPhone XR, which have built on key core capabilities. Lastly, Apple's brand represents simplicity and technological advancement and is associated with high quality products in exchange for premium prices, which explains why consumer segments may develop loyalty toward their brand. Strong brand building also goes hand in hand with efficient customer service, promotion efforts, and research and development to understand new consumer needs and market trends in the technology sector. It was reported that during the fiscal third quarter of 2019, Apple spent $4.2 billion on research and development. That marks the most Apple has ever spent on research and development during a single quarter, and this accounted for 8% of its revenue, which was the highest since 2003. So this proves that Apple is focused on sustainability for the future. And mentioned in Week 10's lecture notes, Apple's brand building results in them achieving several signs of winning strategy, including their customers are loyal, and non-customers can't really see why. Their core capabilities are unique and different from their competitors. And lastly, customers bring their new needs to them, and they are intensely dedicated to fulfilling these needs. This allows the company to attract and adhere to large number of diverse consumer groups.
Management systems are the processes, formal structures, and rules that build your capabilities, reinforce, and measure strategic decisions. Measurements is a key management system Apple implements, as well as supply chain management and a strong communication system. As Ellen mentions, measurements are important to consistently monitor because it identifies new ways to innovate and what products have satisfied customers in the past. Feedback from measurements arises from the comparison of expected outcomes with the actual outcomes and enables you to adjust strategic choices accordingly. Measurements is a vital system as it places the onus on the company to perform in ways which is promised. In terms of value creation, Apple's top level managers may utilize Porter's value chain analysis to improve their supply chain management systems. The value of their products can be understood through analysis of how primary and supporting businesses activities add value to products, contribute to profitability, and increase research and development efficiency. The added value is the difference between the cost of production and revenues realized in the marketplace. Apple's target customers are loyal because they're satisfied with Apple's products as it holds high value from their perspective. The value is attributed to effective supply chain management systems, which emphasizes supplier relationships and lowering consumer costs. It is imperative Apple maintains long-term competitive advantage through its global network of strategically located authorized distributors and sellers. This network streamlines the company's strategic plans and efforts in reaching target customers worldwide. An efficient communication system must be established within the organization from top down and externally with the general public and partner enterprises. There should be a system in place which clearly indicates where the company is going and what visions they see for themselves. When Apple releases a new product, they have a launch event in which key representatives of the company, such as the late Steve Jobs or current CEO Tim Cook, address their consumer base directly and announce new product features. These events are vital for consumers to understand what to expect from newer innovations. If Apple utilizes these management systems, organizational culture and productivity will improve heading into 2013.
For the current market situation, according to Tim Cook, for the 3 months that ended in December 2019, the market reported solid earnings and revenue with the iPhone 11 series, especially in China. However, Apple is predicted not to meet the revenue guidance for the March quarter due to the outbreak of the coronavirus. In the current market, China accounts for nearly 15% of sales for the company, but according to official Chinese government figures indicated that Apple shipped fewer than 500,000 iPhones in February 2020, which is a 60% year-on-year decline. Also, Apple's stock has fallen nearly 19% from its record high. There might be continued near-term impact from the virus, but it is believed that Apple will be able to reach record highs in the next 12 months with their simple, innovative, high-quality products.